Behind me is the 2023 Nissan Leaf. In this video, during the bomb cyclone, we're going to tell you all about winter driving, efficiency, and what it's like to fast charge when it's cold outside. So let's get into it. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this sort of content about electric vehicles, technology, and just everyday living, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and consider subscribing so that way you're notified anytime new content drops. Let's get into it. So I've been reading all over the internet about how horrible electric vehicles are in winter and what it's actually like. So here we're going to actually be breaking down what it's like to drive in snow. We just had a big snow here in Ohio, and so we're going to walk you through what charging or what driving is like, what winter efficiency is like, traction handling, and then we're going to go through and show you some efficiency stats using some very detailed data that we were able to get from the car's computer from a software called Leaf Spy. And then thirdly, we're going to show you two different forms of fast charging. One is on Electrify America right here in Dayton, Ohio, and then in a future segment, we'll be showing you 100 kilowatt charging, what it's like, how fast it goes, and we'll be breaking down all the details. So let's get into it. So first, let's talk winter handling. As you can see, we're outside in this beautiful, beautiful winter scape here, and we're going to talk all about driving efficiency. So one of the things with electric vehicles is they have what's called one pedal driving. And simply put, when you lift off the gas, the car comes to a stop. So how does that work in snow? Let's find out, and let's see all about the handling, and let's see how the Leaf performs, and we'll tell you all about what it's like driving in the winter.
Let's see.
Traction control's kicking on. There, it gives you a sense as to what it's like. So the roads are a little slippery, and if I floor it, so I'm going to let off. It does, front wheels do scoot just for a second, and then the traction control kicks in. But overall, works very good here. And let's see if we can find some roads that have not been plowed and just see how it handles driving on everyday roads. So here is a pretty typical representation of what the roads have been like for the last couple of days. Hard pack, slippery. So let's just see how it handles. So it's very predictable handling, as you would expect from a front-wheel drive car. So not a lot of wheel spin, not a lot of sliding one way or the other. So very predictable in terms of snowy handling. Let's get some turns in up here. So right now we're going about 25 miles an hour, which is pretty typical for what you would expect in the snow. And so let's see here. So it slides a little bit, but it is very predictable. You know, the car is, it's doing what you would expect. So it is, so we're sliding quite a bit, but again, it's very predictable in terms of winter driving. So it's not a Subaru Outback. I have owned a Subaru before, and I do have an all-wheel drive Tesla Model Y, but this is handling very good in the snow right now. So in terms of handling, there's some wheel slide left and right, as you would expect in hard-packed snow. But let's get up to speed here, and then let's let the regen do its thing, and let's see what happens here. So right now we're going around a slight bend, going about 15, accelerating to 20 miles an hour. So it feels very stable. All right, so let's accelerate here. We've got curbs, so we don't want to go sliding off and curb the wheels, but let's go straight here. So we'll accelerate up. We're going 30. Okay, so we're going 35. We're just going to let off. And you can see the regen. So here the front wheels are sliding. So you see there's no regen. So if we accelerate, you see it's drawing power. So let's drive back around and just show you exactly what we're looking like here. So you hear the traction control kicking on. You can see it hitting. So let's drive around here. So with the one pedal driving, or the E pedal, I'll show you what that looks like here. E pedal switch. So you'll see on the dash, if I flip that switch, so E pedal off. So now the car just rolls. Okay. So this should drive like your everyday car. So we accelerate. If we let off the gas, it picks up just a little bit of regen. You see it there, regenning. But let's accelerate. So you see the traction control kicking on. Then I'm just going to let off the gas. It's going to slowly coast. So I think E-pedal in snow is not a good way to go. So let's turn it back on. So E-pedal's on. So let's accelerate up, and I'll show you what we're looking like here. So I think what happens is the E-pedal force, or the regen, the additional regen, is too much for the car in the snow. And so when I let off, see how it drops way off there? So I think the front wheels are just plowing and pushing through the snow. So I think that is something to think about when you're driving. So I would suggest in the snow, if you have a Nissan Leaf, turning the E-pedal off if there's hard packed snow like we're driving on right here. But again, it's pretty predictable. So with the E-pedal on, let's try. I'm going to let off the gas and try to turn. So yeah, I can feel it pushing, sliding through the snow. So E-pedal driving, I wouldn't suggest it. So the E-pedal, wouldn't suggest it in the winter driving, but really the Nissan Leaf, very predictable handling, acceleration, deceleration, turning around corners in hard pack and even some deeper snow. The Leaf does very well. This is with the stock tires. These are Michelin all-season energy tires, so they're not snow tires. These are just regular all-season tires. But overall, Leaf handles very well. So there you have it. There's Leaf handling in the snow. So we'll drive the Leaf the 31 miles. We'll see exactly how much rated range we get, whether it continues to be as projected, or whether we use more, or could be less. We have the energy, or the climate control set to automatic and 68 degrees inside the car. I do have the seat heater on and the steering wheel heater on, but pretty normal interior temperatures. And so we'll drive the 31 miles. It's mainly high. We got a little bit of city driving, and then it's mainly highway up to North Dayton, where the Electrify America station's at. You've seen in a previous video before. I'll put a link in the description down below to that, what it's like charging the Leaf. But let's go again and let's see how these cold temperatures impact the state of charge, what we get there with, how much consumption we use, and then we'll take a look at fast charging Electrify America at their 50 kilowatt station. Let's go. Let's hope the chargers aren't this full. Walmart appears to be a popular place this afternoon. Well, we are rolling up to the Electrify America stations. Luckily, the CHAdeMO is not in use. There's a Hyundai Ioniq 5 and a Mustang GT Mach-E. So let's go ahead and pull up, and let's see if we can initiate charging. Doesn't look good. So we've got a blue screen. Let's see what happens. So we'll go back in the car and see if we can activate via the app. But it doesn't look like we're going to be able to charge here because we've got the blue screen that just says activate Windows. So let's see. We'll see if we can go ahead and initiate charging with the Electrify America app. And it looks like we're charging. Hey, well, even though the screen was blue, we were able to initiate charging. And here you can see that we're starting at exactly 30%. We've been going for just about 43 seconds through the magic of time. So let's take you back real time here to the charging station. Well, we made it here to the Electrify America station. Let's just recap. We left with 100% state of charge, or I should say with 100 rated miles of range. And we arrived here with exactly, I wrote it down, 64 miles of rated range remaining. So again, to recap, it was exactly 30 miles from where we were at. And so we consumed 20% more energy than the car had projected. But again, pretty close on to the overall projections of the car. Again, we drove the speed limit the exact time. Most of it was at 55 to 65 miles an hour, depending on interstate. There was about 6 miles of surface streets, and we kept the climate control on automatic at 68 degrees. So pretty good efficiency for getting here. But once we got here to Electrify America, that's where things got interesting. And so I actually want to show you what's going on outside because I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to charge. But let me just show you what's going on. So when we arrived here to the cabinet, we got here and it had this blue screen on the station. So there was no way to do the interface via the credit card or the touch screen. But we were able to go on the app, and I actually showed a recording here, and I'll put that on the screen here in a second. And when we first initiated charging, it was pulling exactly about 5 to 6 kilowatts, so really, really slow. So this is pretty typical of what a Electrify America station looks like. In this case, there are 6 cabinets. You can see there are a couple of cars there charging. And we're just in a Walmart parking lot. It's not the most glamorous of accommodations, but there are restrooms and there you can obviously get snacks, and sometimes there is typically a Subway paired inside. But here we're sitting at about 62% state of charge, and the car continues to charge at about 40 to 44 kilowatts an hour. So still really fast for a Nissan Leaf anyways. And we're getting pretty well. So we'll see if we can get up to 80% and see exactly how much our state of charge is, and how long it takes, what it costs, and all of those fun details. So far the Leaf is doing terrific, and I'll show you some of the Leaf Spy stats here in a moment. But let's get back inside the warmth of the car because it is freezing. It's 19 degrees here in Dayton, Ohio. Brr. Well, we've achieved 80% state of charge, and I'm going to go through the disconnect procedure so you can see exactly, but let me show you on the dashboard what things look like. You see here, we're sitting at a state of charge of 80%. We're still charging at 27 kilowatts, so that has come down. Let's just scroll through real quick so you can see high voltage battery still well within normal temperature ratings. Battery capacity 100%, rated range 178 miles at 80%. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and flip here, and we'll turn on the screen recording so you can see exactly how we disconnect, and then we'll pull back and we'll give you all of the details on the battery, the state of health, how long things took, etc. So you see here, we're at 80% state of charge. Let's go ahead and stop charging, and then we'll break down all of the details here in a moment. We'll go ahead and hit stop charge. Yes. All right, let's go ahead and unhook from the charger. I'll show you what that looks like here. So again, press the button, pull out, plug it in there, and that's it. We're going to go ahead and flip the charge port closed. And it's that simple. So we'll go ahead and back away. So just in case another Leaf owner needs to use the DC fast charger, we'll get out of their way. But let's go ahead and break down all the details. Well, there you have it. We just finished up DC fast charging at the Electrify America station in the 2023 Nissan Leaf. Let's go through all of the stats. We spent a total time of 43 minutes charging. Our total charge cost us $8.37 using the Electrify America. And we went from 30% state of charge up to 80% state of charge in that period of time. So there you have it. Most of the time it was delivering at that 44 to 46 kilowatts an hour. We did keep the climate control off so that way we didn't consume any extra electricity while we sat there. But overall, that is what DC fast charging is like. It is the day after Christmas, so it's Boxing Day for those of you in Europe. Will you join us for the second round of DC fast charging the Leaf? We're here at an EvGO station, and we're going to go ahead and plug up the Leaf and see if we can fast charge this at this DC fast charge location. We're going to see what sort of current we're able to pull. This is a 100 kilowatt CHAdeMO station. So let's just take a look at the current stats of the car, and then we'll plug in and we'll go through the charging process and see how long it takes to go to 80% from 30%. So really the same thing as yesterday in the 2023 Nissan Leaf. So you can see we've arrived at the station with 30%. So really the same thing as yesterday. Temperatures are just a little bit warmer, 30 degrees. So we'll go ahead and get plugged in, and then we'll activate via the EvGO app. Had quite a time getting that thing plugged in. That cord was so hard. So let's go ahead and get in the car. So we are on the EvGO station here. This is Flow. So let's go ahead and get inside the car, activate the app, and see if we can get to charging. So you see we've arrived at the EvGO station. Let's find Flow. We'll go ahead and start charging here. Heard the car click. We're charging at Flow. All right, it looks like we're at 75 kilowatts right now being pulled in. So over 50% faster than yesterday at our peak time. This supposedly is a 100 kilowatt station. So we'll just see what we're able to do. It looks like we're topping out at 75 kilowatts, and we've got the timer started, and we'll see what our charging looks like. We'll come back to you in a second, and we'll also pull up the Leaf Spy app so you can see all the fun details of the car while it charges. So here you can see the car is pulling in at 75 kilowatts, which is what's shown on the dashboard. We'll kind of go over here and we'll take a look at the current state of charge right now. So we're here at the EvGO station. Car is charged up to the 100 kilowatt EvGO. We're only getting about 69 kilowatts right now. Just to give you an idea of what's out there, there's nobody else out here, but right up here, a bunch of Tesla superchargers, and it looks like they're doing some more charging work. We're in the parking lot of Myers, which is a local grocery store and convenience store here. All right, well, we finished up charging here at EvGO. We used Flow here in Fairfield, Ohio. And interesting thing happened. I couldn't get the charger to stop. It was stuck, and I would tap on the screen, and there was no end session button. So I had to call EvGO, was able to get somebody within about 30 seconds, and they were able to stop the session for me. So very nice. But again, little bit difficult or interesting that I couldn't get the session stopped. But let's go ahead and break down all the details. We actually charged up to 84%, but I did actually note the specific charge point and time. So let's go ahead and compare the 100 kilowatt EvGO charging CHAdeMO station to Electrify America 50 kilowatt station. So ready to break it down? Electrify America and EvGO both put in 28 kilowatts. So we went from 30% up to 80% on both of them. So that's the first thing. So same thing for EvGO and Electrify America. Secondly, the charging time at Electrify America, the 50 kilowatt station, 43 minutes to go from 30% to 80%. And with the EvGO charging station, we went from 30% to 80%, and it took us 38 minutes. So overall, about 5 minutes faster. So not a significant amount of time, because what happens is the kilowatts drop down as the state of charge increases there. So that's the second thing. The third thing was the cost. So with Electrify America, $8.37 to charge up that 30 extra percent. Or I'm sorry, 50%, 30% to 80%. So 50% costs $8.37. Here at EvGO, $15.71. So there you have it. That is DC fast charging with Electrify America compared to EvGO in the winter. So state of charge and temperatures exactly the same. Temperatures a little bit warmer, but again, it didn't change the charging speeds overall.
I recently took a 2,000-mile road trip in my Tesla Model Y. I'll put a link in the description below, but we were able to pull over 2 kilowatts per minute using the Tesla supercharger versus the 0.74 kilowatts per minute at EvGO and 0.65 at the Electrify America. So it just gives you a bit of context, Nissan Leaf versus Tesla, and you can see where Tesla really has a superior advantage relative to charging. The charging costs were approximately the same between the two. But again, I'll put a link in the description below. But just to give you an idea, Electrify America, EvGO, Nissan Leaf, the difference, and then what it's like in a Tesla.
So there you have it. That is what it's like charging a Nissan Leaf in the winter. So let me know down in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you out on the road next time. If you like this, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to be alerted anytime new content drops. Thanks so much, and make it a good one.